You are welcome again to the Guru's Perspective. Of course, my plea remains. Say your comments, I need them. We are still talking of the Nigeria insecurity. Why is it that it cannot be arrested? I just did explain that there have already been protests and there are protesters. Of course, even if you go through the Bible, from beginning of creation, people have always been protesting. If you read Genesis chapter, I'm just bringing us into the limelight. Genesis chapter 11. We now see those people who organize themselves and say, we are spreading all over the world. No, we are from the same father, we are from the same mother. We must, okay, let us build a tower. What they call the Tower of Babel, which is there in Genesis chapter 11. And let us. And when God visited and he saw the work they were doing, God said it loudly, as is recorded for us by the Bible. Hey, these people are made up of one mind. Nothing can scatter their plan. Don't let it, therefore, let me scatter them through instrumentality of language. So the first coup against man by God was compared by the fact that God saw them. They had a good mind, but he said that is not the wish of God, because God wanted them to spread around the whole world. But I'm not here to preach the sermon. So back now to surgery. Let us categorize that of Nigeria. The Fulani tribe moved into Nigeria in the year 1800, very early. By 1803 to 1804, they've been able to establish a caliphate. And today, Sokoto remains the headquarters of that caliphate. They moved with a mission. And the mission is not far-fetched from the destination mission of Ishmael, the first child of Abraham, as defined for us in the Bible in Genesis. He told the mother, the angel of God told the mother, and said, go back, obey your mistress. That is Isaac's wife. Obey her seriously. What you are carrying in your womb is a great nation, because God has blessed that child. He shall live by the sword. He will not be entangled with all his brothers. He will go against all his brothers, and all his brothers will go against him. But blah, 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 blah. This is it. Then fast track. By the 1800, when the Fulani arrived in Nigeria, they came with a mission. Of course, the mission is to conquer. That became the mission. And they executed it gradually, and they are still executing it. Then there is a quote that was attributed to the patriarch of Madafudu, that the sword of Islamic that had gone up in the desert will never come down until it touches the coast of the south. And of course, we saw the move. It is for that reason that the Benue people would always be seeing fire from the Fulani tribe. But before then, let us establish one fact. The youngest tribe in Nigeria history remains the Fulani. It's the youngest tribe. Because the Kalurians have been there for years, if not hundreds of years. The Ijaw, they have been there for hundreds of years. The Urobo, they have been there for hundreds of years. Before we even move to 1600, before we talk of 1700, before we talk of 1800, when the Fulani arrived in Nigeria. But now, these are just basic. Then that one now had created a situation that people will now be agitated. I want this, I want that. They measure it specifically. And if you go to the table, you negotiate with them, and then there'll be no violence. But it came to a point that while Olusegun Obasanjo was transforming from the last stage of his presidency, that's after the failure of elongation of tenure, there is a man who wanted to contest for governorship of Borno State. It is not that I've forgotten the name, but at this point, let us deliberately escape the name. He needed youths. He needed those who could obey him more than as they would be submissive to the people of authority. He raised a generation starting with Yusuf Mohammed. And Yusuf Mohammed was the beginning of Boko Haram. And what is the demand of Boko Haram? As we speak, nobody can say it, except the fact that it aligns with the mission, the vision of the Fulani tribe. Because they will tell you Western education is haram. Then they will tell you Goodluck Jonathan is not qualified to rule Nigeria because he's a Christian. They will tell you you should hand over. A time it was that they outlined about 16 principles. None of them became understandable to any person that would negotiate things in the world. And that was the time that they named President Muhammad Buhari as their spokesman to negotiate on their behalf. I think Wole Soyinka was equally the name Wole Soyinka. So these people came with a mission, and the mission was the creation of one man who is politically solid and who knows that he needs a group that is powerful, that could turn against authority, that will defy every regulations to make things happen. The most respected Lieutenant General Jeremiah Seni, the former Federal Capital Territory Minister, told us much about this, that he came down at Maiduguri Airport once and he called this man and said, this thing you set up, you may not be able to accommodate it at the end of the day. It will assimilate you. Of course, every other thing about Boko Haram, Mohammed Yusuf, Nano, but why Jonathan was battling, because there was a time he suspended about 17 local governments across 6 states in the north. He couldn't get it right until he got the first tenure. The second tenure, when he was going to the second tenure, and by that time, APC had been fully formed. And APC was coming out with President Muhammadu Buhari as a candidate. Then there became a filtration of another solid group in addition to Boko Haram. And that infiltration was when invitation was sent around the whole of West African countries that the jihadists, the jihad that started in Nigeria, that the Fulani jihadists should come now to Nigeria, because, well, this is not anything hidden. At least, I will quote a name. The former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, told us much that at the time, he had to carry money, Nigerian money. I don't know whether Nigerian money or Kaduna people money, but he couldn't have been the money he saved from his grandfather. To go to some countries in West Africa to pay them that, please don't carry out destruction anymore in Kaduna State. But today, Kaduna State remains theater of operation for this. So we are still tracing the soldiers or terrorism, as we mentioned it, insecurity in Nigeria. I will still return back to add more to it, the Guru concept.